So this is Dr. Anna Passers, and Anna also was a surgeon. I say was, she's not practicing surgery anymore. Your office is open now, your home office.
Home office in my living room, but starting the official office on 1st of October this year. Exciting.
And that took extra time because of the new baby.
Yeah.
Are there more babies on the way, or you're... No, done.
No,
Two.
The office is the
Did your
the third
genetic
baby.
duty replace you and your husband? Now chiropractic.
Yeah. No.
So I met you, how many years was it? I have a bad sense of time now.
I think
3, 4?
3 years ago.
Okay. So, back to the beginning. What made you want to become a doctor in the very beginning?
Oh, I think
Long before you studied medicine.
Yeah, to understand what's going on inside of my own body, and to understand why I needed to find chiropractic. I started when
No, we wouldn't take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Because you didn't start out, you didn't know chiropractic. When you were a teenager,
Yeah.
you're in school.
Yeah, I wanted to understand what is going inside of me, and I wanted to help other people to get more healthy or to match. And at the age of 8 years old, I fell off a horse and break the base of my skull. And the medical treatment care plan was laying down in bed for 3 weeks. No allowance to sit up, no allowance to see a bathroom, and listening to doctors telling you every day you should stop with horse riding because it's so dangerous. And 1 year later, I lost my dad by another horse accident.
Let's keep that right there in one spot. Yeah.
And
so everybody can...
So this big emotional and physical trauma just took place, and 10 years later, severe symptoms showed up, like severe migraine headaches and several stuff. And if you ask medical doctors for any answers, or is there a connection maybe back to this 10 years before, the scientific evidence-based answer is for sure it's by chance. There's no connection, cannot be.
But the symptoms got better.
No.
They never got better.
No, they just showed up 10 years after the trauma, and then they stayed on. And I used to live with it I used to live with my hair color. So I felt like it belongs to me.
You just didn't see a way out.
Yeah. They take you on medical drugs and pills, and but I always wanted to find out what is happening inside of me.
So you wanted to fix yourself.
Yeah. And that is my reason up to today why I needed to find chiropractic. I did not find any answer in the medical system, but I was grown up in Germany, and my parents and I did not know chiropractic. So I went to medical university and studied medicine. And after 6 years, I felt, okay, what do I want to do and want to learn? And if you never felt familiar with pills and legal drugs, then you go for surgery to work with your hands. Although it's a very high military field still up on for today. And
it's a hierarchical structure.
Yeah. So not very comfortable, but it's the way to go. And it was 6 or 8 years. If surgery is needed, it's happy that we have surgery, but the mechanistic way of orthopedic surgeon puts your body into parts which can be replaced never felt acceptable to me. So I felt like I do not fit into the system and into this way of thinking. So you go on to find your answers. And then I met Christian Stier, and this was not by chance, but we never knew before, and we met in the living room. I was exchanging books before my last exam finishing surgery. And then we talked about surgery and the medical field. And then he asked me, do you want to get adjusted? And I had no idea why he asked me if I need an adjustment, because I did not tell my horse stories. I did not talk about my symptoms who belong to me.
He didn't ask if you need. He said, do you want?
Yeah, but And I had no clue about the difference between chirotherapy or chiropractic, but I was very interested and felt like, oh, if he asks me, there will be a reason why he asked me that I could need an adjustment. So I laid down on the floor in the living room and received my first adjustment. And I totally agree with Christian. I thank you for this moment up to now. And I totally agree that one adjustment changed my life because not physically, it took much more and it's still recovering, but mentally. It was the first power on moment. And yeah, and then I had even more questions in my head than before, but then started at your institute, and I will always remember how stupid I felt the first 2 weekends starting to learn chiropractic.
That was what the perception sometimes.
I,
It's good or bad.
I felt bad about myself because I noticed that I never told or asked myself the right questions before. I noticed that as a student, I did not get the difference between am I studying something for health and making people more healthy, or am I studying any kind of symptom and treating disease? To me, I was like a student learning a telephone book, the content they tell you, learn the content of a telephone book, and I did it. I did not ask any question in this time.
I don't know if I ever told you this. I don't think I ever even told my wife this. You made me a little softer. Because those first couple days, every time I was talking to you, you start to cry. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
I'm
really, really.
God, I must be a real asshole.
Yeah, but I'm really nervous right now because I am afraid in this interview that I will start to cry again, like many times before. But I always felt like I have to continue.
The first couple days, you were there. I'm driving home every day. I'm like, man, I just make women cry all the time. It's Saturday. What'd you do today? I made Anna cry.
Again.
Then I go back on Sunday. She's crying again. What the hell did I do? I just adjusted her atlas.
Yeah,
You
many,
had a
many,
lot of emotional
yeah, and many,
release,
many
too.
times I did not know myself. I did not know why, but it was like, I think to me it was like a maybe healing process. I did not feel comfortable with this, but I felt like I have to continue. I have to go this way, and it's not easy to go on the right track, but yeah, and I learned a lot.
It's the easiest thing in the world. You got to stop telling yourself that stuff. If you tell yourself, I can't do it, you can't.
Yeah.
Tell yourself it's easy. It's easy. You
Yeah.
get that out of your head.
But for me, it was like getting out of my comfort zone, starting to ask the right questions, to prove everything I have learned at university, to prove if is it true or not. And it was a big step. I felt in the beginning, I felt totally lost. Yeah, and then.
Well, it's hard because I have a finite amount of time. Because, you know, before you come to me, you have about 6,000 to 10,000 hours of brainwashing.
Yeah.
And I have about 500 hours to make a difference. So I got to get in there and
to
mix things
me,
up quick.
It felt like if only half of your facts are true, my foundation skips. Really?
My facts.
Yeah, you
I
told.
don't actually have any facts.
Yeah, you told us
You
to
mean
prove
the
it, of
stuff
course.
that I
but
tell you to go look for.
yeah, that was the beginning.
But it made a difference because you got stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
I thought this woman is either never going to come back. Her husband's going to come and kill me. I'm sending her home every weekend crying. I'm like, oh my God, I got to be nicer to these German doctors. So it was good when you were finished. I'm like, all right, I could go back to screaming at these people again and kicking them in the ass because you made me softer. Yeah, some of my older students come like, what happened? Like I'm getting older. You know? No. I'm not so mean with these doctors anymore. But I wanted to say this in the beginning because some people might be watching this thinking that I or the medical doctors are anti-medicine. We always talk about this. Medicine saves people's lives. It has nothing to do with health. Mm-hmm. Chiropractors don't save people's lives. You still tell that to patients?
Yeah.
What I would say to you? You know, like the firemen, they can come in, crush your door down, put the fire out, save your life. you wouldn't hire them to come back and renovate your house or design it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I want to say that, because sometimes some of you guys, when you get out, you're so excited about the new thing. But I always say people that aren't in Germany, there's a lot of great surgeons in Germany. There's not a lot of great chiropractors, which is very strange. Most societies, there's a lot of chiropractors, not so many great surgeons. It's, for me, being a foreigner, it's a little different. Because it's what I always ask you guys. In your community, if your family got hit by a truck, how many surgeons would you trust to operate on your family? And I always hear the sound, oh, the number's small.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's not zero.
Yeah.
Now, how many people do you trust to remove interference between the brain and the body in your family and your community? Usually that
Even
number's smaller.
Yeah.
That's a surprising thing. But what I'm curious about, because you're starting with the home practice, and I tell my wife I still dream about going back to that, because I started with the home practice and I miss it. A commute of a few steps.
But how do you see that growing?
Do you want to move it out someday? You want to
No,
grow it inside the house?
Since 2 years, it's like my Lloyd table is in our living room.
Table single?
Single table right now.
Well,
Up from
you need to talk to our people out there. Get some more tables.
And
How are
it's
you
like
doing that with one table?
now, but from October, there are going to be 4 tables.
Well, I keep forgetting you just had a brand new baby again last
Yeah,
year.
and it's-
But you look great. You recovered really quick. How long ago?
because of chiropractic, really,
Yes.
this is important.
How old
to
is
know.
your young one? You got to tell
The
people.
youngest one is nearly 1.5, and the older one is about 4.5. And to me, it's like you told us, it's only the thing you experience makes it real. And to me, it changed so many things back from all my symptoms stuff, but like feeling clearer, sleeping more different, but even like the pregnancy, the first pregnancy without knowing chiropractic, and the second pregnancy being under chiropractic care and delivering the baby and growing them up and getting them checked, it's totally different.
Much less stress.
You cannot compare. And and then, but I was struggling at home because it's like my living room situation, and friends and family and friends from friends who I don't know want to come and get adjusted. And to me, it was difficult to they show up because they think it's pain treatment, because I have a low back pain, could you please check? And I was really pissed off if I was only asked for the back pain thing. And then I felt, okay, I do not really deliver the right message. And
No, all the chiropractors in the room want to go, welcome to our world. Come on in and have a seat. For the next 50 years, it's not going to change.
yeah, and then the kids were circling around, and it never felt like I want to change this situation, like having my office opening hours and having time for the kids and not mixing everything up.
You know what you didn't have? I just realized. You didn't have a housewife. Because when I started my own practice, my wife, the amount of time, the effort she had to put in, breastfeeding, my kids with a towel over them, it was, that's the thing. You're the mom and the chiropractor. That's really,
But
you
it's
need a housewife. You got to hire one of those.
and now
You know
it's
what I mean?
getting
Someone
cleared
Because
up.
you have young kids.
But they grow up in a totally.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I found chiropractic for my life, because it not only changed my life, I think it changed my family's life.
You let
And
them run around and crawl around as patients are coming.
the 4.5-year-old, he how's the English word? He's playing. He is the chiropractor.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
I remember after
he's
the first
adjusting
adjustment.
everything, like the cuddling thing. Yeah.
I
And-
remember that. That's one of the profound, with me, I always remember profound moments with kids.
Yeah.
I adjusted your son. He stared at me for like 15 minutes.
And he loves you. You are the candy man.
I'm like,
yeah, it's holy.
yeah. So, but I don't know if I wasn't listening good, but what do you think about the future in your house? You want to make an expansion on your place
Yeah.
as your kids get older?
Yeah, up from October this year. I'm really excited about it, and making plans and preparing, I started to adjust a general practitioner in my hometown already in my living room, because we are like something like friends. And she started with the low back pain story. And from the beginning, she noticed she's sleeping more deeply, she feels clearer in her head, and she's talking about kids who should get checked. And I really want to spread in our community that it should be chiropractic first. To me, it's surgery. If it's needed, it's needed. Pills and medical drugs are not needed even more, or to put more onto the market. Chiropractic should be first, and then if surgery is needed, go for it.
I have to remind everybody that you're hearing this from a woman who's trained as a surgeon. So the chiropractors are going,
And my hope is to do the health talk classes and to invite like the other doctors or therapists in my hometown to spread that I'm not the low back pain specialist, that I'm not interested in being this one, that it's about health. And yeah, that's my
but
vision.
what you said with the GP, it's the most powerful thing. Because if you're wondering, how do I just say the right thing? It's the experience.
Yeah. And
Experience is always going to guide.
And I'm spreading this into the kindergarten because I see many, many miserable things within all these parents. And I ask myself, what do the pediatricians do? They do not, I don't know. But Doctor of Chiropractic felt offended by me because I'm a medical doctor and only a medical doctor. And then I felt a very good friend of mine was not allowed to take a course, a chiropractic network course. He was offended, and 2 days before it happened, he was not allowed to join the class in Germany. And
What kind of class?
like I think a network spinal analysis
Well,
in Düsseldorf.
You know what? The chief just
No,
happens to be sitting there.
No.
No, things happen in the past, but you know, there's a German woman running the show now.
But this was only this disease only, and I don't know about the political thing. But to me, I always had the idea: okay, only medical doctors are ignorant and stubborn and don't want to listen. But then I noticed the first time, there are some disease the same way. So it's really,
Yeah.
I think if we want to make it not an alternative medicine, we have to connect both and to understand each other. And from everywhere, I think many could be critical about the German system learning from weekend courses, because of course I'm still not finished. I still have to train myself. I have to go on.
There has to be a standard.
Yeah.
So you make sure you pay close attention when I have Big Klaus up here to talk about, you don't know what's been going on for the last year. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So what message do you have to people out there that have never had an experience with a doctor who talks to people about health?
Ask the right questions, not only medical student, for everyone. Ask the right questions and you get your answers. Get adjusted and get your experience. And get your experience that's not only about back pain. And that there's so much more to gain out of life.
That's fantastic. Do you have anything else you want to share?
I'm happy to be here. And thank you for listening.
Thank you. That was great.